Okay, this video is my attempt to explain rowing boat pitch. So firstly, why have pitch? It makes the boat easier to control, so you go faster, and it makes the oar path through the water more efficient, so you go faster. So you have pitch to go faster. So what is pitch? Pitch is the angle measured from vertical to the angle that the blade of the oar is at. So you can see here, this looking at the end of the oar, this would be negative pitch. So if you push the oar in this direction, it's going to want to go down into the water. This would be zero pitch. So if you push the oar in this direction, it's not going to want to go up or down. And this would be positive pitch. So if you push the oar in this direction, it's going to want to come up out of the water. And now I've drawn a curve on the top of these oars. And most oars are shaped like this, and you have to be careful when you're measuring pitch. Some people measure it with a big pitch meter that goes in a straight line from the top of the oar down to the bottom of the oar. And you can get an inaccurate reading if you do this. So I tend to just measure pitch on the gate. So types of pitch. There's two types of pitch, fixed pitch, such as lateral pitch, and rotating pitch. And you change this, for example, with the inserts in the gate. So firstly, rotating pitch. Throughout the stroke, it never changes. You adjust it by changing the blue inserts in the gate, and it's built into the gate design. So here is a 4-4 blue insert, and you can see you put this into the gate, and it doesn't affect the angle that the gate is at at all. So you might say, where does the 4 degrees come from? And the bottom of this gate, I haven't drawn it accurately. It's actually sloped at 4 degrees. So when your oar sits in here, it's also angled at 4 degrees. And this is called a 4-4 insert, because whichever side you face forward, you're going to get 4 degrees of pitch on your oar. And now there's also angled inserts. So this could be a 7-1, 6-2, or a 5-3 insert. And if you put them in opposite directions, top and bottom like this, you're going to add pitch or remove pitch from the gate. So you can also put them in the opposite way, such as here. And we'll look at the effects of this in the next slide. So firstly, 4 degree inserts doesn't change the pitch. You're left with the 4 degrees that's built into the gate. So if you put the angled inserts in like this, with the bigger side on the front at the top and the opposite direction at the bottom, you're going to add to the total pitch. So say this was a 5-3 insert, you've added a 1 degree angle here to the 4 that's already down here, and as a result you're going to have 5 degrees pitch on your oar. And you can put it in the opposite way, and you're going to reduce the pitch on the oar. Okay, so there's a new type of inserts that Concept 2 have brought out, and they look like this. And in reality, they're just the exact same as the 5-3 inserts that they already had. So with these inserts, you can get 3, 4, or 5 degrees. And the way you get 4 degrees is you put both inserts in the same way. So for example, the 3 degrees at the front, or both of them having the 5 degrees at the front. And you can see this doesn't have any effect on the angle of the gate when you put it on the pin. And to get 3 and 5 is just the same as before. Put them in opposite ways. So assuming the pins are vertical from the front or back and from the side, then the pitch in every direction is always going to be the same. Doesn't matter if your oar is here, here, or at any other angle. Okay, so lateral pitch. It's built into the pin of the gate. Everybody hates it, and nobody really changes it. And that's bad, because most boats will have lateral pitch, and it'll be wrong. So here you can see lateral pitch. Looking from the front or back of the boat, the pins are angled outwards. Okay, so the next 3 slides are important to try and visualize. So you should pause the video and not move on until you can visualize them. So lateral pitch at the catch is going to add to the total pitch. So you can see here, you have pitch on the gate and the pin is leaning outwards. So this is going to add to the total pitch in this position. The result, you push on the oar this direction and it's going to tend to come up out of the water more. Okay, so lateral pitch at the finish removes pitch from the total pitch. And it's the exact same as before, except this time the gate is inside the pin. So the gate is trying to lean this direction and the pin is leaning the opposite direction. And the result is you reduce the total pitch. Now I've exaggerated the angle on the pin here so it's easier to see. But normally you'd have 1 degree lateral and maybe 4 degrees on the gate. So you'd be left with 3 degrees. So you'd still be leaning forward. And the result, you push in this direction and the oar is going to want to tend to come down more in the water. Nearly there. So now lateral pitch in the middle of the stroke. So this is the most important slide. So in the middle of the stroke, lateral pitch does not affect the total pitch at all. So if you imagine sitting in this boat and you look to your left and you have lateral pitch on the pin, so it's leaned outwards. To you, it's going to look like the pin is straight up. So in this one position, lateral pitch does not affect the total pitch at all. Okay, so you might say, what happens to that pitch? It doesn't just disappear. Well, for all intents and purposes, its effects do just disappear. So the gates are designed very smartly. They have these 2 angles on the side of them. And this allows the oar to sit at pretty much, well, a large range of angles completely freely. So in the middle of the stroke, lateral pitch isn't going to change your pitch at all. And it's not going to affect anything else either. Okay, so how to measure pitch. You measure the combination of both lateral and rotational pitch. So the normal way to measure pitch is you measure at the catch, at the middle of the stroke, so when the oar is 90 degrees to the boat, and at the finish. And the expected values would be about 5, 4 and 3 degrees, or some people would say 4, 3 and 2 degrees. So you want to get 4 degrees from the inserts, and you want about 1 to 1.5 degrees lateral pitch on the pin. Now you might say, why 1 to 1.5 degrees? Well, how much lateral pitch affects the total pitch depends on the stroke length. So if you're really tall and at the catch you can reach your oar all the way out to parallel with the boat, and you have 1 degree lateral pitch, then in this position you're going to add 1 degree to your total pitch. But if you're not so tall and you can only reach out to 45 degrees at the catch, then how much the lateral pitch will add to the total pitch is somewhere between 1 and 0 degrees. So if you have a shorter stroke, you might need to add more lateral pitch to your pins. Okay, so that's fine, but it doesn't explain why you might measure 665 or 544 in the 3 positions. Well, there is another kind of pitch, one that's never really mentioned, and this would be front to back pitch on the pin. And this kind of pitch is always undesirable as far as I know. So the combination of front to back pitch and lateral pitch would be the total fixed pitch, or the total pitch on the pin. So what does front to back pitch look like? Well, it looks like this. So looking from the side of the boat, the pin is going to be angled forwards or backwards. And this would be very common after an impact. So normally you're rowing along and whatever you hit is going to be in the direction you're traveling, or if you hit another boat, the direction that's traveling. So it's normally going to be bend your pin forwards or backwards. So if there is front to back pitch, it will add to the total pitch measurement in the middle of the stroke. Okay, so front to back pitch, it's undesirable. As far as I can see, it's always a rigging error, and it's common after any crash or impact. So signs of this pitch could be 2 of the 3 pitch numbers being the same, or the pitch number in the middle of the stroke being more than expected. Okay, so how do you fix this problem? Well, you can bend the riggers or add angled wedges to the pin. So if you're going to do this, the boat must be level in all directions, or you're just wasting your time because you can't tell if the pin is level. And this is a bit of an advanced rigging skill. It's kind of tricky to do. So here on the right are some pin wedge washers. So if you Google rowing pin wedge, these will come up. So the ones on the bottom right here, they can only fix lateral pitch because they have this groove in them that fits into the slot in the rigger. So you can only put these in one direction. But the ones on the top you can put in any direction you want. So you can fix front to back pitch with these if you want. Now on the top left here are some wedges that you might put on the side of a 2-stay or 3-stay boat to raise or lower the heights. But these will also angle the pins outwards or inwards. So they're going to affect your lateral pitch as well. And on the bottom here, we have some wedges that you might put on a newer Aliante rig to raise or lower it. But again, these are going to angle the pin forwards or backwards, so you have to take that into account. So how might you measure 665? Well, you get these numbers if you had 5.5 degrees with the inserts, half a degree lateral pitch, and half a degree front to back pitch. So at the catch, the total pitch, as before, would be the rotational plus the lateral. So 5.5 plus 5 is, or 5.5 plus a half is 6. In the middle, the total pitch would be the rotational plus the front to back. So 5.5 plus a half is 6. And at the finish, the total pitch would be the rotational minus the lateral. So 5.5 minus a half is 5. Now you should see if you can work out the 3 pitch angles, rotational, front to back, and lateral, for these pitch measurements of 5, 4, 4, catch, middle, finish. So pause the video and see if you can do this, and then I'll show you an easy way to do it. Okay, so the easy way is simultaneous equations. So you have 3 equations, and you know the total pitch at these 3 positions. So you can easily make these 3 equations here. And now you can see if you add equation 1 and 3, the laterals cancel, and you're left with 2 rotational pitches is 9 degrees. So the rotational pitch is 4.5 degrees. Then you can sub that back into equation 1. 5 minus 4.5 gives you a lateral of half a degree. And then looking at equation 2, 4 minus 4.5 gives you front to back pitch of minus half a degree. Now there is an even easier way to do this. If you measure the catch pitch with the gate pointing directly away from the boat, and the finish pitch with the gate pointing directly in towards the boat, then the difference in those pitches is going to be double the lateral pitch. Okay, so there's just one more kind of pitch, and that's pitch that would be built into an oar. So it adds to rotational pitch. It's the exact same as the inserts, and it's quite rare. Most oars would be ordered with 0 degrees pitch. So on a normal oar, when the sleeve is 90 degrees, the blade is 90 degrees. But if you have one with pitch, that would not be the case, as seen here. So it could be the other angle also. Okay, so some last comments. Inserts change the pitch everywhere throughout the stroke, and it won't fix most problems. Most problems are the pin being bent forwards or backwards. to adjust the pins, you need a 17 and 19mm spanner. And what's most important with pitch is that both sides are the same, not that both sides are right. So if both sides are the same, you probably won't be able to tell that there's anything wrong unless they're both way off. Okay, that's everything. Thanks for watching.